How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Kitty.
Hi, how you doing? Happy Friday.
I've been following your TikTok.
Yeah, we're pretty we've been around for a while. We're pretty new to the TikTok game, so it's been interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a switch up. So Rachel said that you have experience with TikTok too.
I do, yeah. So in addition to what I do for my main job, which is a director of marketing for a company, so I've worked for multiple companies that get into social media. I also have my own consulting business, which also has various clients that try to get on other platforms. And for me, Instagram was always the big thing, and TikTok kind of took off, and it's obviously catching up to Instagram very quickly. So it has a lot more people interested on how do they use that platform, how do they start to take advantage of that growing audience. So really some of the points that I'm going to bring up are going to be some general guidance that I provide new clients on how to get on that platform and properly get the exposure that they're looking for.
Sweet.
I hear you on all of that.
Yeah, I'll probably learn a lot more from you guys than you will of me, because I'm not super immersed in TikTok. I'm learning what works and what doesn't work just as I go, but I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about the way you go about things and whatnot.
Yeah, but
You've obviously had some success.
Yeah, and your niche is different, right? It's not a typical entrepreneurial or
No, yeah, I'm pretty lucky. The fact those videos I've been doing fairly well is just it's Star Wars. Star Wars is here to stay, and it's a massive brand. So we've been that. Before we started with TikTok, we were already viral when the new Star Wars movies started up, The Force Awakens and all that stuff. We released a music video and it just snowballed on social media. We got millions of views there and YouTube, and it just kind of cascaded into what it is. And we toured around the world and stuff like that, and just done crazy stuff in our weird Star Wars, man. So I can't complain though. It's been good. But yeah, with TikTok, we've just been repurposing old footage, because that's all we really have right now. I gotta go. The other guys are in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'm in Pittsburgh, so I'm 3.5 hours away from them. So I want to get the costumes here in my home, so I can make TikToks on the fly, because we're slowly running out of content to repurpose, because we only have so many videos and stuff. But yeah, so that's gonna be the next big thing, is just being up to date with the trends and what's hot now. That's been my journey so far. And we have a guy from our label who's been super helpful with because he helps manage a bunch of the other bands and their social media and whatnot. He's been giving us pointers what hashtags work, how to format your videos, how to I guess just hit the right audience or whatever. So it's been good, just learning. I'm figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and all that good stuff.
Great example of how to tap into something that's on trend and
yeah, dude,
go viral.
Yep, exactly. It's been good. Like I said, we've been around a while, and before COVID, we were touring and doing lots of stuff. And then COVID hit, and it's been 2 years of nothing. And now we're well, we might as well get on TikTok, and we have tons of footage, music videos, live shows, funny bits, content, and we're just why the heck wouldn't we put it on TikTok? Well,
exposure. That's all it is. It's just exposure. Even if you're not selling something, it's just about getting in front of people. I think that's a really cool thing, because musicians are some of them they're blowing up all over TikTok.
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting their real start from TikTok. So
yeah,
you never know.
We have a fairly decent fan base already, just based on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. Just a matter of reigniting the fire, more or less. Anytime there's a special Star Wars thingy going on, we just try to capitalize on it. Aside from that too, I'm just interested to hear what you guys do with your the brands you work with and everything else, aside from, because I do want to do more TikTok for myself, even just as because I play guitar and whatnot, so I want to post more guitar videos and stuff. And I am getting my small business together, all the video stuff I do and all the multimedia. I'm getting my LLC in the works, and I have my website all up and ready to go. Just a matter of launching it correctly and not screwing that up. So
Always a challenge.
Yep. Fast forward and now, like, we've been playing shows. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we'd be probably fine. It just, that kind of put a halt on, like, you know, everyone's lives, but especially the music industry and like live, you know, touring, performing. But now we're here and like we're trying to get hyped back again, trying to like get back on the road and do other things. And TikTok's been the key so far, hopefully. So we've been just repurposing old content, like, you know, how I edit videos of Strella and whatnot. Like, I'd pretty much just try to like reformat them perfectly for TikTok. So all of our music videos are just like, you know, these weren't originally made for TikTok. They're just made for like YouTube, like horizontal videos, like stuff like that. So we just like, you know, make the videos vertical, scale in so it fits like the whole screen, no like awkward black space around, you know, whatever, because that seems to totally kill the algorithm and whatnot. Yeah. And so doing that's helped. Like, sometimes what I'll do is if it is kind of hard to see, because obviously we made those videos with not TikTok in mind. So if I'm like really zoomed in far and you like can't tell what's going on, like sometimes I'll like zoom out a bit, make it like a big square kind of, and then the background, I'll like have the same thing going on, but like make it like really big and kind of blur it out. You ever see those videos on like TikTok where it's like a blurred background and like, yeah, you get it. And like, I think you can do that in like in apps like InShot and like other things like that. But I just do it through Premiere because like I can do the video editing stuff and like all that Adobe software. But sometimes I'll do that. We've had those videos perform pretty well too. Like the one video that's on our TikTok that did like really well, it has like, actually I'll check real quick and see like how it's doing, because I'm actually curious. I haven't checked it in a little bit. Okay, it's at 620,500 views right now, so that's pretty sweet. Our best one.
Wow.
Doing that. So yeah, I don't know what to expect half the time. Sometimes it does well, sometimes it doesn't. Like that one that is doing well is like the most like stripped down, like basic video. Like the thumbnail probably helps. It just says Star Wars metal, like pretty easy. You can't like, that probably makes someone go, oh, what's that? So it's probably more clickable and whatnot. But I just try to think of like witty captions and like a decent like little thumbnail part that like, you know how the thumbnail like kind of like looped itself a few frames or whatever. It's like a little preview, and I could try to make like an interesting one.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like add in like, I think just using
with the drumstick. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I just picked like the coolest part. And then like after that, our guy at our label actually told us too, like for bands and musicians. I mean, I'm not sure how much this would apply to your guys' stuff with like small businesses or like lifestyle, whatever it is. I mean, it probably still is good, but like he told us a trick that like to make things more shareable, like you can like, you know, you add your music to it. But if it's like trending audio, if you don't want that audio like playing, you can totally mute it and then just have it there so it's more shareable. Apparently just like having some kind of like trending audio there, whether it's playing or not, you just have the original volume all the way up and not the new one. And that's helped us too with some videos I've noticed. But yeah, it's hard to say. Like I just try to make clips fairly short. Like sometimes I gotta make them a little longer. So like we have bits and stuff in our music videos, and like I don't know, if I cut it off too soon, it might not make sense. But I try to keep clips short so it's like the attention span's there for people and whatnot.
What would you say is like your longest video?
Probably like almost a minute, like about a minute. We have a lot of footage still in the meantime of like things we can use. What sucks is though, like you literally do have to post like every day. It is like a pain in the butt sometimes to do that because I mean,
especially for what you do, like
yeah,
I feel like.
And like the biggest thing, it's not even so much like that part that's tough. It's just like making the videos has been a pain in the butt because that's like, because whenever you like scale in on videos, obviously you lose like the subject can get out of frame sometimes. You zoom in so much to reformat it for like vertical, if that makes sense. And so like anytime like the subject changes, I gotta like make sure like the subject's in frame and stuff every few like frames and like edit it out and whatnot. So that's like the biggest pain in the butt. Just like I have like a set of hashtags that have worked for me that like for that Star Wars band that like works well. Like I just look up and I pretty much just been like looking and seeing what like the biggest ones are, and then I'll like add a couple that are like unique to the video and just hope it does well, and usually it does. So yeah, I really don't know like the magic formula like to a degree, but like I'm getting an idea of like what works better than others, like making it pretty like the video is pretty idiot proof and like being able to understand like what's going on in it, but also making it like shareable and like unique and fun is like the big thing. Like I'd make it like transparent but like unique, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 1000%. Like looking at your profile, like one of the videos that stands out to me the most is the one where it says Vader visits the younglings.
Oh yeah.
That's entertaining. And
yeah, it just like
not music.
Yeah. The thing that I like would want to learn more is like, when we are making more TikToks on the fly, like what kinds would work with like our audience and like in general, like what does well. Cause like I would still love to use like, like mainstream, like trending audio that, is funny or works well. Like, I always hear like the usual like music that like is used in like popular TikToks and like could still apply to ours as well. I just don't know like what direction I'd go with that yet. I've been like taking the advice of like the guy from our label and it's been going well. And, same with even like stuff that like Strella does. I've been like applying that and whatnot. So it's all been pretty good. Hopefully it all keeps paying off. Oh yeah. Another like fun fact, when we did post that video, we went from like the really popular one, we went from like 1,000 followers to like 10,000 in one night. It was pretty nuts. It's pretty pumped about it. Yeah. Getting like little videos like that like every few, like one does really well and, keeps getting that big boost. So yeah, ride the wave or whatever.
We're certainly doing a lot of really good things. I just heard you list off there, making engaging content that's easy to share, having a hashtag strategy, keeping your videos vertical. That's also a really good key thing that you had mentioned there. So certainly a lot of good things that have built into that success. It sounds like you really know what you're doing.
I just from trial and error. And like I said, I've gotten advice from a couple of people who are like heavy into that whole world, especially with like the music industry. Like, and I see a lot of my own that like a post that like I kind of get ideas for and like, I could try to emulate, but yeah, it's just a big learning process. Just the more creative, the better. I think keeping it creative, but simple enough to follow along. That's like, doesn't make you have to like watch it twice to understand what's happening is like key. Just make it idiot proof, I guess, whatever you're trying to post.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that short attention span. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what works really well for you guys is kind of the mystery behind it.
Yeah.
Like people don't know, they're like, who's in these costumes? Who are these guys? So I think that mystery is kind of intriguing too. But I'm wondering, would you guys be willing to show your faces to let them get to know who it is?
Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's tricky because like we've like, for the most part, like with our band, like no one's really cared who we were that much. They mostly just come to our shows and see like, oh, Star Wars, cool. And that's more or less how like the vibe has been. I mean, we definitely could. We're actually getting like new like characters and new costumes for like our band because what we're doing is obviously there's only so much Star Wars music. So we're like doing Star Wars and now we're going to do like other big scores like Indiana Jones and like Back to the Future. And like we had a whole other band for it. It was called like Hollywood Rock Orchestra that we were going to do. It was going to be like Trans-Siberian type style with like a band and an orchestra, but like us playing all like the classic movie scores and whatnot. And like, but we might just kind of lump it into this band because the guy in our label thinks it would be funny how like, like Marvel and like Galactic, how there's like the multiverse and stuff like that. If we were like traveling through time and like through movie verses, like, and bring it to like a live show, and it could be also make it good for like, TikTok and like funny bits and things like that. Like we just did Jurassic Park kind of recently. So that was like a funny, like interesting one that we did. And like, we have like a bunch that like have already been written and like recorded. We just have to like get it all like, put up online. But like, once we do all that, that's kind of the game plan is to like trek across movies and just make it goofy, but like sick music on top of it and just make it something that's shareable. So yeah, I could definitely see that being a thing one day though. Like if the hype keeps building and like we get big enough where like people are more into like the little things like that, like seeing who we were and whatnot, or like pondering who we are. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at now with a game plan too, with like TikTok and like what we want to do.
Yeah. Well, and one idea that immediately pops into my head, if you wanted to keep that mystery going, because I think that you're right, you should keep that going for a while because it's entertaining, right? People are attracted to that. So one thing that you could do, since you guys are apart, is if the other band members were willing to do it too, is to like have them record themselves like getting into the costume, but still having the mask on first so they don't see their faces, or talk even if you were willing to talk on the video, mask on and talk about how you're able to play an instrument in those costumes when, you know, especially if it's like Jurassic Park, you know?
Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah. Like what we actually done too, because we're all kind of like audio video savvy because we all do like music and stuff like that outside. This like what we do is like sometimes we'll record videos and like in post, like kind of modulate our voice to sound like Darth Vader or sound like Kylo or whatever. So like I could be like saying words in the camera and then like in post, like edit it, make it like sound like that. And like, because it does sound like it could be funny too. It does sound like a little cheesy and cheap whenever we're just like us in our regular voice with like a costume on, just like, oh, it's some dude in a costume. So like we try to keep things as like professional, like we want to keep it like professional, but like goofy, if that makes sense. Like just like high end, but like, oh, they're having fun too, that kind of thing. But yeah, I like that too. I don't know. It's what's nice about the band is there's so many like options are like endless for like funny things you could do. There's like so much content to pull from and like so much just like Star Wars lore we could like make fun of or like, you know,
have fun. So many ways you can go with it.
Yeah, it's been better late than never joining the TikTok frenzy. So I can't complain too much.
Well, and I think that one thing that might be helpful, something that I tell all my clients is that there's really 3 categories of content that you want to focus on.
Yeah.
Entertainment, education, and trending audio.
Yeah.
So sometimes, of course, entertainment and trending audio kind of go together. But when I think of entertainment, I think of just like the video that I was talking about, where if you put the mask on and you show one of the characters trying to get into the costume, and showing entertainment that way. But then you could always do trending audio in the costume individually, or if you guys did get together and you could do that as well. And then you could transition it, you know, to show you playing at a show or doing a music video or something like that. There's definitely different ways to do that. But if you keep that in mind, the entertainment being, you want it to be funny, you want it to be super shareable, educational. So showing how do you play the instrument in the costumes? How did you guys come together? Like the behind the scenes stuff is really
that'd be cool
too. So kind of giving, if you could put a spin on it, make it super creative to kind of fit the vibe that you guys are putting off, but entertainment, education, and then trending. That's always going to be the easiest way to go.
Yep. We've done videos where like in that kind of music world, they're called like guitar playthroughs, drum playthroughs, which is just like the musician playing, you know, the song for like YouTube or whatever, just like showing how it's done. So we want to do all that kind of stuff too. But yeah, it's been good. Do you work with LA stuff too, like Lisa Ann stuff too, Lainey?
So I had a meeting with Lisa Ann, and I mean, she's really, you know, she does it all on her own. I mean, the girl,
yeah, for sure.
She crushes it. She puts the work in, which is nice. So really, I just kind of had a meeting with her and talked about, she was at 30,000 followers, but she was really only doing the podcast stuff.
Yeah.
And so I told her that if you want to monetize off of TikTok, then there's got to be some intention behind it. You can't only do the podcast stuff. So I talked to her a lot about kind of the same thing, letting people in and getting to know her on a different level and showing the behind the scenes, talking to the camera. Talking head videos are extremely popular right now.
Yeah. I remember seeing those videos that I did like of her like talking in like that chair or whatever. Do you see those ones that she did? Those ones did like really well, it seemed. So that was cool.
Yeah. And I mean, it's been about a month since I spoke with her, and she's gained 16,000 followers in that month, just from applying things that we talked about. So she also didn't know at the time, like a lot of basic stuff, which you would think, I mean, like it's basic things that people lack knowledge on. And so being in this industry, we forget that. So she didn't understand that, like, if you hit the record button, just hit it. It'll be hands-free. She thought you had to hold it. She was like, I don't want to hold it.
That's funny. Yeah, I was just curious if she was like happy with all like the stuff we've been doing with all those TikTok videos and whatnot. But it seems like they've been doing all. I'll creep now and then on her profile on TikTok, and it seems like it's like going all right. So
yeah, cool. I think she's, and you know, I told her, especially if you have a product or a service that you are trying to sell, like her having her Do Better Dudes, is that what it's called?
Dudes Do Better, yeah.
Dudes Do Better. Like her Dudes Do Better t-shirts or her books. I'm like, why aren't you promoting those? You should talk about them. If you want to sell something, the best way to sell it is to actually talk about it.
I cut so many clips from like her podcast of her like talking about like whether it's like that Fit Soda stuff or like her merch and books. I'm just like waiting to see like a post from me. There's like probably 10 or 20 that like I've cut of like her talking about it. So hopefully she does that. But that's cool though. I like that. How often would you guys say like most brands should post per day? Is it like, I've seen things like once a day or like 3 to 5 a day. Like what's like ideal, do you guys think? Does it depend on like the brand?
What's your opinion, Kenny?
Yeah, so I always preach consistency is the key, right? So it depends on how much content you have, obviously what you said already, quality content, right? Something that's engaging, but definitely multiple times per week. But that's going to vary by industry and what the goals are of the particular entity or person or business that's working on it. But I would always recommend multiple times per week.
And I think it just depends on how fast you want to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big part of it. If you're looking to gain 10,000 followers in a month, 2 to 5 times a day, it's going to be where you need to put that energy into. I'm a big believer in once a day. For consistent increases in your following, I think once a day. And I think it's doable. A little less doable for what you do.
Yeah. Like if we're all like, if we all like, we're all trying to like chip in and do our part. Like I definitely do like most of like the posting and work because like I'm just like the drummer and the bassist, like I said, they're like, they own a recording studio. They're like working full time, like working every day doing stuff. I'm doing this stuff, but I am like at my computer, so I can take like 45 minutes to like create an edit and do whatever. But like it gets a little much sometimes for sure. Like it's a lot of work. So I try to like, I think I'm gonna try to like once a month, like just do a massive batch in like one day and just like have it ready for the month and stuff, and just do that with, I don't know, most of the videos. But I also, like I said, like I want to like keep things fresh too. Like our label guy suggested that like we were like, hey, can we just like schedule out posts because it's easier on all of us? And he said like you could, but he also advised like you want to like maybe not do that too in case like, because like trends are always changing, like something new could happen one day or the next, and like you want to keep your content fresh and up to date. And like in the meantime, like I said, like I can't really do much without my costume right now, so like I had to kind of wait till I get that. But that also makes sense. It just it does suck how short people's attention spans are these days with like how much you gotta bang out content, it seems.
Well, one of the things I usually suggest when I'm working with people when they're trying to come up with ideas is doing some sort of benchmarking. So looking at peers or competitors and seeing, again, this is me coming from the business mindset of things, but seeing what they're doing, what's working, where they're having success, what's their latest content, and then kind of doing your own spin on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. I actually just had a conversation with a client about the difference between inspiration and imitation. So market research, like Kenny said, is huge, especially if you're an entrepreneur or you have a product or service-based business like that. You absolutely have to take a look and see what your competitors are doing that's seeing success. Yeah. But it's about if they're like doing a trend and you see it and you're like, oh wow, that happens to me too. Like we're in the same niche. That exact same thing happens to me too. Don't use that exact same example. Don't do that. But think about the feeling or the emotion that it brings to you, and what's something else that happens in your business that brings that same emotion, because likely there are other people who are feeling that same emotion in that situation. So it's all about relatability. It's a difficult thing to like kind of navigate between inspiration and imitation, but you definitely want to make sure that you're feeling inspired by something but not imitating what they're doing.
Got to have your own spin.
I feel like people are like can't like think people are like too dumb because they can tell. I think it's easy to tell when something's like authentic versus when it's not authentic. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's easy to tell at least.
People are savage, man. They're savage.
Oh yeah. I'll let you know.
I'm on, so my TikTok is all like mom humor and dating, and so like mom talk is a thing where like mom TikTok, there was just this huge drama in the mom talk world because there was one mom who was completely copying all of the content that another successful Mom Talker was doing. When I tell you that mess blew up, and like they were like, I mean, they got her kicked off of TikTok. Like they were savage.
It's rough.
Yeah, it really is.
Yep. Yeah, we've been pretty safe so far from like, I mean, we get like people saying, oh, Star Wars sucks, blah, 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 but like, I don't care. Like, I'd rather just let them have the video share as well as it can with what people are saying. And it's been mostly good anyway. So
yeah, and it's engagement. Let them talk.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
Thank you for contributing to me growing on TikTok.
Yeah. Like I'm not even taking it very seriously myself. I'm just like laughing at like half the comments like people are saying. Like I get ones like, oh, how are they playing with gloves, stuff like that, all that kind of funny like sort of thing. So that could be a funny bit in itself. That could be a funny like joke that we could like make on like others in like a fun, lighthearted way. Like
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. One of the cool features about TikTok is the ability to reply with a video. So that's a great example of how you can do that and turn it into kind of like entertaining / educational content is replying to that comment with a video and showing them how it works. You know,
that'd be fun. Yeah. We actually have a bit where like we have like Darth Vader tracking, because we got like the original video had like a lot of comments saying like, no, there's no way they're playing live with like gloves and whatnot, which is true. Like in a music video, you're not playing to like the actual song. You're just like kind of, it's almost like you're lip syncing, but like with your instrument, like to the track. And like we had a video where we had like a bit where Vader's like recording guitar and like he was playing with gloves on. It was sounding terrible. And like the engineer's like, dude, you got to take your gloves off to make this work. And like, it's just like a bunch of banter between them back and forth. And like it did really well on social media too. So we have, we've had a lot, like I said, we've been like, I've had this band together for like 4 or 5 years now, probably. So we've like, you know, have tons of random jokes that we pulled from like comments people made and like things we've noticed, and it's all been going well so far. So like I said, it's all stuff we can repurpose and do new. And like I kind of want to do too, like those duets where like you can have like maybe like Vader could like play like the Imperial March or something on like guitar, and then like someone else could like join in, like he could play like a verse and then like the other guy can like join in and do, you know, the next part in his own way, or like whatever the heck Vader's playing, like just having them collab in some way with whomever. So
yeah, with text on the screen that says duet this.
Duet this.
Yeah.
Yep. So all that stuff would be good too. Me and the guy I work with, he like owns the studio and we like teach there, and like I want to maybe grow more online as like a guitar teacher, like my own personal brand. So like doing more on TikTok like that, like quick tips or like little quick licks, quick lessons, stuff like that. Like I gotta like just do it and not just talk about it. I've been meaning to do it. It just, like I said, we're all busy working and whatnot. So it's a matter of finding the time.
And I think people, I mean, not that this is you, but I know that Rachel and I have had a number of conversations about how difficult it is sometimes to just show up on camera. The confidence really only comes from just doing it and showing up consistently.
Yeah.
Earlier, you were saying something that you just reminded me that sometimes you'll have videos that do really well and then you have a huge dip. And I think that's something that people miss out on. They think that if they have one video that goes viral, that after that, every single video is going to be super successful. And that is never the case.
Not the case. No. Yeah, that's right. Just got to keep, you know, throwing stuff at the wall till it sticks. And, you know, that's just how you do it.
And we just met with Chad Harvey.
Yeah.
And he's going to start doing TikTok. And one of the things for him was that he felt like, how do I have time to create these videos? I mean, like I want to plan it all out, and this is the cool thing about TikTok is that it's about being raw. People don't want to see you in like this super aesthetic, you know, background, and everything's like the production on it is amazing. That is Instagram. That's not TikTok. And so for me, what I like to do is that if I'm out somewhere and something comes to mind, I open TikTok right then and there and I just record it. I don't edit it. I don't post it, but my drafts, my God, I got hundreds and hundreds of drafts. So if I'm ever in a position where I don't have something to post, I can just pull right from my drafts and do it that way. But people get scared about, like, I can't tell you how many I do in my car, you know, and people don't care. They just don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Like keeping it lighthearted, keeping it real, because I heard this earlier in the conversation, people can really tell when something's overproduced or fake and
Mhm.
doesn't go off well. And that can certainly be a challenge when I'm working with businesses, because they want everything to be perfect, but that's not the platform that you're on. Like you mentioned, Lainey, before, that's more Instagram. That's not TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's why Instagram is sucking right now. They're struggling.
Yeah, Instagram is rough these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I'm excited to like do new, because all my band has to choose from right now is like high quality stuff, which is done well. Obviously, we saw like that one video did well, but like I want more like raw, like spur of the moment stuff. I mean, it will suck if I have to put on a costume every time to do that Star Wars band. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be creative and think of other ways where I don't know, always have to put it on. I can just like, I don't know, pull from live footage even or something, or pull from you know, other things maybe, but I'll think of stuff.
Like another idea that just popped in my head to you that would be something really simple that you don't have to show your face for, but because your niche is a little different. So engagement obviously is really important, right? Like allowing your followers to get to know you, but also taking the time to engage with them is number one. If you're an entrepreneur or you have a brand where you have a product or a service, you want to engage with them so that they build that like, know, and trust with you. A way that you can do that for yours, because it's not like you're selling something necessarily, at least at this point. I mean, eventually it could be like tickets or whatever, but like even if you went to Target and you bought a Funko Pop or something.
Oh yeah, true.
And you're filming you walking out of Target with the Funko Pop in your hand, and you put a Q&A question. So they have the ability to do the Q&A questions on the video, and you could say something like, where should we put this Darth Vader in our next show? And and like say like, oh, you should put it on the drummer's head or whatever. I don't know. Yeah,
no, that reminds me. We have one video. I don't know if it did very well, but like along those lines, we had the drummer in our band got like a Lego Star Wars kit and like did like a time lapse of him building it and just put that on TikTok, and it did all right. So things like that, like dubbing, like putting our music over the video and whatnot too, to help it be more shareable. And
yeah, well, you guys are doing a great. I mean, you have like maybe 30 videos, and you're already at 14,000 followers. So I mean,
I know I'm pumped. Like I just gotta, like I said, keep it going. Like I gotta probably make a new, because I did miss a day, not yesterday, but the day before. I missed a day of posting, and I don't want to miss another one today. So I gotta maybe make a new one. I might have something I can pull from, but it's been, I just gotta, like you said, I like that idea too about like not so much scheduling, but just having like a ton of drafts ready to go. So you can just like, oh, what should I choose today? And like whatever, maybe I'll do that. Just like have a bunch ready whenever and choose accordingly.
And next time you guys are like backstage getting ready, hit that button and get some drafts going.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Yeah, hopefully, I don't know when we're gonna start playing game. This is like a whole like music industry thing. Like it's a little rough, like touring right now at a band at like our level. Like we're not like gonna be bringing in the money right now if we just like randomly hit the road. So I think our label guys trying to grow us first and like get back the hype, and then like eventually down the road we'll do more show stuff. And but definitely when that happens, we'll be doing lots of videos backstage and like funny stage banter and whatnot. Like I know we'll have like a guitar tech and like a sound guy on our tour. So maybe we'll get him like doing videos from like front of house, like taking videos of like the show going on. And what else? Like we have like lots of bits. We have like this one bit every show where we'll have like someone from the audience come on stage and we like force choke them and like he gets like dragged off or whatever. So lots of funny stuff that could be, bundled up for it's like we were like, I feel like the band was like made for TikTok. Like there's like so much stuff you could do. So it'll be nice.
Well, I was thinking another cool thing, since you guys are apart, because that makes it difficult, right? Like you're in a place right now that it's just difficult overall to produce content. Even if like you and one of the other members, or if everybody did it and you guys were in your costumes and you FaceTime each other. Yeah,
that'd be funny. I like that.
And you could say something like, you guys ready to jam or whatever, put the voice effect on it, and then just have it so that you have them record themselves playing, you're recording yourselves playing, yourself playing.
No, that's smart. I like
and that would be an easy way for you to be able to do that since you're not together.
Yeah, no, I like that because we all are, we're all over PA. So like I like that idea of like us kind of doing our own thing. It could be like just like me wearing like just the helmet, like getting the day started, like, you know, a day in the life. I'll literally go to like Target, like in my helmet. I don't care. I'll do stuff like that and just like be goofy and like,
Yes.
just make things relatable, but like funny and just like silly.
Yeah, well, you're killing it.
Oh,
So
thanks.
what kind of businesses do you really work with?
So like health and wellness is a pretty big one. And then I'd say that's probably the primary one when it comes to TikTok. When it comes to Instagram, I've worked with some other manufacturing type businesses that just want to, they use it more as like a PR vehicle. And then I've worked with some influencers as well on the beauty side of things. And I think we've covered a lot of the things that I normally talk about when it comes to TikTok, except for something I think maybe we should elaborate a little bit more on is the importance of having a hashtag strategy. Certainly, CJ, you mentioned that you've got some that you use for your band, and then you try to incorporate things that are trending. That's really important, things that I try to get across to people, because a lot of people don't understand how important hashtags are. They know they exist. They know they're supposed to use them, but how many to use, what are the right ones to use is something that usually takes some coaching or teaching, making sure that you are using things that are relevant to your business, but are also things that are going to get eyes on your content. So especially important with TikTok, because they use that as part of their algorithm to show your content, making sure that you're using stuff that is trending, that is appropriate, but also still mixing in stuff that fits within your niche. And that way you're getting in front of the right audience. And Lainey, I don't know if you have anything to add to that or something different than what I just said, but certainly very big, important part on the business side of things is making sure that you have a strategy when it comes to hashtags and understand how to use them.
Yeah, I think hashtags are definitely important. 3 to 5. It's different than Instagram, right? Like,
right.
So different than Instagram. 3 to 5 maximum is what I always tell people. And, you know, with Instagram, when it came to hashtag strategy, you had to be really, really strategic. Like, you had to figure out how many views they had. Like, you want to have some from this big view, some from the small. And what I found with TikTok is that hashtags are important for sure, 3 to 5 maximum. But what's cool about TikTok is that their algorithm is so different. They have AI, and their algorithm is so much more advanced than any other social media platform. They're on YouTube's level, right? So they're recognizing what you're saying in your videos. They're recognizing the text that you put on the video. And this is important whenever it comes to your captions. So if you really want to maximize how much exposure you're going to get, if you do it like you would on YouTube, where you put really important keywords in your captions, make sure you're saying those keywords in your video, make sure you have those keywords on the text on the screen. That's also going to help to maximize your exposure. And it's great because, you know, TikTok only gives you so many characters. I think it's like 150 characters for your caption. Whereas with Instagram, long form captions are like the death of people, you know, like nobody hates anything more than writing a long form caption. So just being able to pick like a very short sentence where you're utilizing those keywords that you actually say in the video, it's going to help that AI and algorithm to understand who you need to be pushed in front of.
Nice.
And Lainey, I know you've got a course or a class that you're getting ready to come up with. Is that the kind of stuff you're going to be including in that?
Yeah, so it really is kind of, it's a mini course. So it's not super in depth that it's overwhelming, but it starts with number one, just showing people how to get set up, because there's a few things that are important. Optimizing your profile is important. You want to make sure that, you know, your username is different than the actual name that you have, but your actual name that you show up as also needs to have some keywords in it so that people know exactly what your brand or business does and how you can help them. It's about understanding how in your bio to separate. I separate it by 3 different lines, and the first line is going to go more in depth into what it is that I do. The second line is how I help people. The third line is how they can work with me, and it depends on how many followers you have. You can link, you know, your website and all of these things. There's a lot of things that go into it, but understanding how to work with every feature on TikTok is a big thing for people. That's what stops a lot of people from actually getting started with TikTok, because they're like, I don't even know how to do this. There are a ton of coaches and consultants out there who are teaching you how to see success on TikTok, but they're not teaching you how to actually utilize the features of TikTok. So the majority of it is that. and understanding how you can use every benefit that TikTok has laid out for you. And then, of course, it does go into, understanding what types of content you should share, how often you should post, things like that.
That's smart too about the hashtag thing, because I've been creeping over, like I've been doing like maybe 6 or 7, so I'll probably keep it a little shorter. I never know, like it's all part of like the trial. I never know like what ones are gonna do well or not do well. Like I'm not even sure which hashtag, or if they did it all help, like that one big video I did that like 620,000 whatever viewed one. But yeah, like like I said, I'll choose like maybe for now I'll do like 3 of like the big ones that like are doing well in the Star Wars world, and then I'll maybe add like 2 that are like relevant to the video, I guess. Something like that.
Yeah, and it really is different than Instagram. I feel like I use really broad hashtags, honestly.
Yeah, that seems to be like, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Like, and for Instagram, is it like pretty much like, not that it's like a dead platform now, but is it pretty much just reels or nothing at this point for Instagram?
I mean, my personal opinion, it's nothing. It's not even reels. Reels are
Yeah. Just not do it. Just Instagram's just like,
I'm not gonna lie, I shit all over Instagram all the time. It makes me mad. But I know that they weren't prepared for what TikTok did. They weren't prepared for that, and they're trying to transition it, but because they're making so many changes and scrambling, what they're doing is they're leaving every person on that platform in the dust, and nobody's getting engagement because they're too worried about their sans script on IG stories. So like, we got a new sans script. Nobody cares about your sans script, Instagram.
Because like I would share like videos from TikTok to like Instagram reels, and like I did that for a little bit. Then I thought I was like oversaturating the feed a bit, so I'd stop like sharing to the feed. I just did it just in reels. So I did like annoy people like every freaking day with a new video. Like TikTok's probably like the best suited platform for that versus reels. Like now and then I'll share a video that I post on TikTok onto reels if it's like worthy of it, if it's like a unique special thing versus just like another random like music video cut or something like that. But we found like decent success too with like Facebook reels, oddly enough. Like the one video, like that one that did well, I didn't see it, but like the drummer in my band said it's like got like 700,000 views on Facebook too right now, which is good. And like I don't know if that's like a big thing these days, Facebook reels. Is that?
I've heard that. I don't work a lot with Facebook. I don't know if Kenny does, but I've heard that Facebook reels is actually doing really well.
Yeah, let's see. Like we've done a few, and like each one's done all right. Like that one video did really good, I guess. So might just be a hit and miss thing. But yeah, I don't know if Kenny, if you've done much with Facebook in that regard.
Not with reels, no.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's not too different from what I've seen with whenever I post on TikTok, I just like take the video that TikTok creates and just put it onto, Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been seeing how that goes, and it's been not great, not bad. I don't know. It's been right in the middle.
It's been good. Yeah. I mean,
so yeah.
30 videos, 14,000 followers. You can't beat that.
Yeah, I'm happy. Like I'm trying to like, I think TikTok's gonna be the only platform where like we really crank out content like every day, and like our Facebook and Insta, like I probably just won't like burden it too much. I'll keep those. Like I feel like posts on like Facebook and Instagram are more like the big important posts that like are worth sharing, like, oh, a new tour, or like, oh, we had this piece of merch dropping, or here's a new song. And like obviously we'll do all that in TikTok too, but TikTok's the platform where you just keep like pushing content and like just keep shoveling it good stuff.
And that's like one of the biggest things that I tell all my clients is that you have to be adaptable. At some point, TikTok's not going to be the platform. It's going to come. It might be 10 years from now, like Instagram, crushed it for 10 years. But I do think that people get stuck on one platform and they're not willing to adapt to something new, and it really stalls their business.
Yeah. Like I mean, TikTok's been around for a while. And like, I mean, if it wasn't for my Star Wars band, I probably wouldn't be on it much besides like my guitar stuff. But like like I'm pretty late to the game myself with everything, and it's pretty crazy.
You're not.
Yeah. It's just pretty crazy how much traction you can just pick up with, that platform versus Instagram, Facebook. I mean, we have a Twitter for my band, but that's like hit or miss sometimes too. There's not much going on there, but yeah, it's pretty nuts.
I can say from the business side of view, the number of businesses are still trying to just figure out social media on any of the platforms it's astonishing.
Yeah.
So yeah, being on the hot platform is a great thing. A lot of the work that I do is mostly around just getting started on one of these platforms.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, we've had help from the label that my band's on, and they've been super cool with giving us tips and tricks, because they there's other bands that are like kind of like, obviously we're Star Wars like all the way, but then they've been like giving us like some practices about like what other bands do. Just like, it would be easier obviously if like doing more personal things, if like we were all together touring, quick impromptu videos, but that'll come in time. If things are going the way they're going now, we're just building week by week, slowly but surely, then I'm okay with it. So as long as you don't run out of content, and like I said, I could recycle things, and even like you said, like getting like one of those Funko Pop things or whatever, like things like ideas like that, or just when you're out where you don't even need to necessarily be on brand or like in costume, and just sharing things related to the world of Star Wars and applying it to the page is going to be the big thing. So just got to keep being creative.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the draft idea and using that with my clients.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier. And one thing that I wanted to highlight is that videos like that with like the Funko Pop and things like that. So for me, I always think of it like there's really two types of content for two different groups of your followers, right? Like, so you do need to push out content that is going to not necessarily go viral, because sometimes you don't want to go viral, but it needs to gain a lot of traction so that you can get more followers. But those videos like the Funko Pop, that's going to be to nurture your current audience.
Mhm.
That's going to be to really help dictate who's your warm audience, who's your cold audience, which ones are invested in engaging in your content. And it's going to help them to continue to get to know the band a little bit better. So even if it doesn't get a lot of views, like I don't ever really look at how many views I get. It's for me just about building connection with the people who are following me.
Yep. Yeah. Do you guys respond to a lot of your comments in your TikTok videos? Like now?
Such a good question.
Yeah.
So
or do you guys just like, I feel like, I mean, I could be very wrong. I don't know if it's like, I mean, I think I kind of like the idea, maybe like responding to like a few that are like really good or kind of witty, and then just like let the rest kind of like, I don't know, fall to the wayside. Kind of like, I don't know if it's like more cringy or like seem desperate if you're like, you respond to every comment like on, I mean,
if you have a lot of comments, you're right. If your comments are loaded, that could be a problem. But I think having some level of engagement is important. That's just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I actually just made a TikTok video about this on my business account, and I was talking about how TikTok's going to reward you. They want you to stay on the platform. The more you're on the platform, the more they're going to reward you. You want to get more views? Be on TikTok, which means not only just posting to your own account, but engaging with other accounts. Now, that doesn't only mean responding to comments and liking comments that people leave on your stuff, but also engaging with other content and commenting on their stuff, and really kind of like building that community in a different way. I got a comment immediately from a guy. He's like some kind of like black magic magician. I don't know. And he had like 500,000 followers. And he was like, this is not true. I have gotten 500,000 followers and I've never once liked a comment or engaged with any other account. But I said, this is different. His niche is so different. His niche is so niched. There's nobody doing what he's doing. It's like the weirdest stuff that he's doing. And so he doesn't have to do that because, number one, he's not trying to build community. That's not his goal. What he's trying to do is just to get exposure. And he doesn't care about having people invest in what he does so that they can eventually invest monetarily into his business. That's not what his goal is. So same with your band. It's not necessarily your goal to build community. It might be to some degree, but if you were selling a product or a service, it might be a little bit more of that. So engaging is more important for those businesses who are doing that. But I do think it's important to build community no matter what. It's not going to make or break it for you, but I do think it's important.
Yeah, the way we kind of do, I guess, build community is we kind of, if there's comments, if there's like nice ones, mean ones, or whatever, we just kind of stay in character and like be like the Star Wars characters
Yeah.
and like just be like, we like not like super serious, but we're just being funny and like, you know, having back and forth with people. And we've had comments that are like I've done like really well on like YouTube and stuff, and just like talking to people, and like other ones of just like being goofy. And yeah, I kind of forgot about that you could, I mean, I'm like I said, like I don't look at the comments too much. I'm mostly just like I check my profile and see how it's doing. Like, okay, cool, this video is doing this well, or this follower count is this one today. But like now and then I'll click on the video and like look at the comments and like just like chuckle and see what's going on. And so yeah, I probably should with every post just a few, or I don't know, ones that like stick out, just respond in character. And I don't know, might make people like be like excited to like comment like, oh, maybe they'll respond to me or something like that, or just be witty to me. So
Yeah, and think about it, whenever you're scrolling on TikTok, I mean, I'm assuming that you do.
yeah.
You just watch TikToks, right? I'm not the only one. Okay, so
Yep.
if you come across a video that's really entertaining or really funny, what first thing you do, you look at the comments, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's something funny, because you know that there's going to be at least a handful of comments that are going to make you laugh even more.
Yeah.
Love it when you pin their comments. So if somebody comments something that you either have a really, really good response to, that is funny, or like maybe a little bit of a dig, or, you know, really kind of emphasizes that character or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Seeing that comment is always going to be beneficial, because so many people, they know immediately. If you like a video, go check out the comments, because you know they're going to be just as good.
I forgot you could do that. You could pin comments and like do all that stuff. Like I keep thinking like that's just like YouTube and whatever, but no, you can do that there too, it seems.
Yeah, I was just going to say pinning videos. So, you know, Instagram just did it too. So TikTok gives you the ability to pin up to 3 videos at the top of your profile. Like right now you have your most viral video pinned.
Yeah.
So a lot of brands and businesses have the wrong perception of what you should do when it comes to this. A lot of people will pin their most viral videos. So if they have this, they'll take the 3 that have the most views and put them up there. The strategy that you should be utilizing is, number 1, having one video that explains to people what it is that you do and how they can work with you. Cool. Even if it's got 3 views, it doesn't matter. You want people to look at that one. Then also pinning one that's going to be really entertaining, showing them why they want to keep coming back to your profile. It's going to give it, you know, a little bit more of a dynamic than just selling. Buy from me. No. Also, if this is really entertaining, this is why you want to keep coming back. So at least having those 2 things in mind, and 2 of the 3 videos that you pin, is really important.
Smart.
Yep. Great strategy.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys telling me all your tips and secrets and everything else in between. Yeah, I'll let you guys know if I think of anything new that like I do on my end, and you know, vice versa. You can let me know things you guys are discovering every day or whatever with TikTok or anything to help you grow. So good stuff.